Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back and I'm better, literally, because I've been so ill this past weekend. I hope you guys are all doing okay and you've had a good 2 weeks. You know I post every 2 weeks, so it's been a long time since I last saw you guys, you know, but I couldn't miss another week, even though I'm like literally still very much ill. I couldn't miss another week. And also I feel like this video, I've been so excited to film this video. I just feel like it's quite an informative video. It's that time of year again, like it's back to school season, back to uni. What do you need? How do you make friends? All of these things. I just really want to do it because I remember when I was in year 13, literally about to go into first year, I was absolutely dreading it. I didn't want to move out. And when I finally made the decision to move out, I was just in a state. Like, I just didn't know how to handle it. Like, I was like searching videos, searching TikToks, pestering my teachers, pestering my friends. Like, I just was all over the place. And I just feel like now that I'm going into my third year, I have quite a good understanding of uni life. And obviously, because I've had my own experience, I feel like now I can actually speak confidently on the topic. Obviously, everyone's experience is different, and I'm gonna give you guys tips and advice on what I feel like helped me with the whole moving out process and how to deal with it and being on your own, etc, etc. Okay, capiche? Okay, so I'm just gonna go straight in now. Got all my, oh my god, I'm gonna break it up into points, don't worry. Guys, excuse the natural lighting as well. I've got a ring light here, but obviously it is getting dark. It is getting dark. I'm sorry, I feel like I literally speak like an old man. Sometimes I just have to stop and think, why do I speak like that? Anyways, that is, I'm not insulting old men, I'm just saying. Okay, so the first point I would like to emphasize is to pack seasonally. I don't even know if seasonally is a word. You do not need to pack every single item in your wardrobe, every single pair of shoes. You do not need to do that. My advice to you is to pack seasonally. So obviously when you start uni, you start like September, October times, right? So just pack accordingly to that. Obviously, like, don't get me wrong, make sure you pack your dresses and a few skirts and stuff for freshers, like the parties and stuff. But generally speaking, don't bring bikinis. Like, I don't know who would anyway, but you get what I'm trying to say. Just don't pack everything, just because, to be fair, you go home every term anyway. Not every term, the other way around. So once the term is over, you go home, so you can just keep swapping bits and bobs. That's what I did, because when you go and see what your room looks like, the space is very limited. Second tip, B&M and IKEA will literally be your best friends. Like, you can get everything you're ever gonna need in those two shops for cheap. If you need cutlery, plates, pans, pots, bedding, pillows, everything that you need, get it from there. I'm not gonna lie, I'll be so honest, in terms of like the cookware, they don't really last that long. So maybe in terms of like pots and pans, maybe actually invest in like a good set of pot and pans. For me, for example, like my nan kindly enough actually bought me like a pots and pans set from Amazon. Don't get me wrong, it came in so handy. Like, I literally used it a good amount of times, but after a while it started to rust and the quality just started to, you could just see it was like quite cheap. Do you know what I mean? So in terms of pots and pans, maybe pay a little bit extra cash, but in terms of like plates and forks and that, like IKEA, B&M, everything you need, those two shops. Boom. Okay, my next tip would be to bring photos of your family, your friends. It is very, very daunting moving out by yourself, so don't feel like you're being dramatic. Trust me when I say, like, it is so scary. But when you bring like little Polaroids and just little photo frames of like your friends, your family, like, it just makes it feel more homely, and it makes it like your accommodation then becomes your safe space. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's really important, even if you're not like a picture person, just make sure you're taking those pictures before you go, because trust me, like, it's just cute to look at those pictures when you're like, I don't know, like in your room by yourself. Like, it just reminds you, like, you know, like you're not actually on your own, you're just temporarily on your own, you know? To be fair, following on from that, my next point was actually to decorate it like your own. Most people do this anyway, to be honest, like they decorate their accommodations, but I think it's so important because the same point, it just makes it homely. And at the end of the day, like, it's literally your home for a year, 2 years, however long you're staying there. And even though it's a really tight space, like, you do start to fall in love with your little space, like it's your space. So decorate it like you would a home, make it your own, because you just want to make sure that like you're excited to come back home, you're comfortable when you come back home. Because honestly, in my first year in my accommodation, like, I like that minimalist Scandinavian kind of style, do you know what I mean? It's like I kind of replicated that into my own uni accommodation, and I just used to love my room. Like, after nights out, I'd be so excited to go home. After uni, I'd be so excited to get into bed. Like, yeah, like even in the winter times, like when it's cold, like, just being able to go back home to your accom, like, just make it homely and decorate it how you want it to be decorated, because it's literally your space. And that will help you as well when you're missing home. Next point. Explore your accommodation the first night you move in. This isn't like mandatory, but like this is something that I did, and it gets you familiar with your surroundings. And usually 9 times out of 10 there's hundreds of people that have moved in the same day as well. But most accommodations will have like social areas, like a bench or whatever, and you'll find that a lot of people hang out there because it's an opportunity to make friends and meet new people. It's okay if you don't make friends the first second you're there, do you know what I mean? Like, it does take time, but everyone's got that freshers adrenaline, so people are gonna be a lot more friendlier than you think. So just bear that in mind. This is a really good point actually, and this is what I did. So again, I'm not saying you have to do the same thing, but this is just something that actually helped me. Spend lots of time with your friends and families before you actually make the move. I just feel like you need to make the most of the time you have with your family, because of course you're gonna see them again, so don't panic. But it's just like, it won't be as consistent. So you just wanna make sure that you spend a lot of time with them, you make those memories, so you leave on a happy note, you know? Also as well, one key thing, you might go into like a small pit of sadness at one point, like during the early days. It will just be a pit of like reminiscence. So you're just reminiscing on your family and back home and your friends back home and all of that. But you will be reminded of your little sibling who you forgot to take to the park that time. Like, just the smallest minute like memories or like promises will pop up in your head. Take advantage of the time that you have with your siblings and everyone, because trust me, you're gonna regret it when you're by yourself. Like, oh my god, I wish I did take my brother to the trampoline park, like I forgot. Well, fucking hell, there's nothing you can do now, mate. Do you know what I mean? Okay, the next chunk of the video is going to be about making friends, because I personally think this is the hardest part for a lot of people. Okay, so the first point I would like to make is swallow your pride. Swallow your pride, please. For your own sake. For your own sake. You need to swallow your pride. You actually need to. Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze. Look how red my nose has gone. But yeah, as I was saying, guys, you need to swallow your pride. I completely get it. Like, I understand that, you know, making friends is awkward. It's not really a comfortable feeling to make friends sometimes, like, especially at our age. I feel like when you're a little kid, it's so much easier, as we know. But I feel like when you're, like, grown, it's a bit harder. Most people wonder, like, okay, so how do I approach a friend? Like, how do I start up a conversation? Like, I'm socially awkward. Just smile. I know it's not that easy, but as long as you're the friendly person in the room and you're just smiley, it just makes you more approachable. Because at the end of the day, just because you have social anxiety doesn't mean nobody else does. Do you know what I mean? In summary, just be really smiley, be really friendly, and if you are feeling confident, just say, hey, like, what are you studying? That is the most common asked question when you start uni. Don't overthink it, don't sweat it. Just be yourself and just take the risk. Because if you don't take the risk, then it's gonna be you that struggles, because this is a time to swallow your pride. You need to, so you can make friends. My next point is to join group chats. I feel like that's one thing that I did. I didn't necessarily like post in those group chats, but joining group chats honestly helps you so much, because I just feel like it reassures you like that you're not the only one feeling the same way. Like once you have that one online friend, it turns your fear into excitement. You're not always friends with them forever, like you don't always stay friends with them, which is fair enough, but it's just nice to have that hope and that reassurance, like okay, like, you know, I'm gonna see Sarah like in September. Do you know what I mean? Because you've kind of built that kind of friendship on social media. Honestly, just join group chats because it's just so reassuring. Everyone's really friendly in group chats anyway, so it will put your mind at ease when you see how friendly everybody is. If you feel like you are socially awkward, I definitely recommend group chats, because at least you can let your personality thrive through text, and then by the time you meet them in real life, it's like you feel like you've known them forever because you've had so much interaction on Facebook or whatever it is. Facebook is the best for group chats, by the way. They usually have WhatsApp group chats as well, but in order to find those WhatsApp group chats, you need to be in the Facebook ones. So just type in anything like University Kent Freshers or Kent 2023, like whatever it is. My next point is to get involved in everything. Do not get lazy when you find that one friend. I feel like that's kind of what I did. Like obviously once I found my 3 girls in uni, not that I wasn't open to making any more friends, but I just got very complacent. I just thought, yeah, I've got my three friends already. I don't really need to be out mingling anymore. Don't do that. I know that like everyone loves a small circle, but it's still early days. You know what I mean? Like don't limit yourself to like 1 friend or 2 friends when you could meet so many more as well. You're still getting to know everybody as a collective. So even if you find one friend that you literally love and trust so much already, just keep getting involved, keep going out. And when I mean going out and getting involved, it doesn't just have to be clubs. Like I mean everything. So like clubs, sports clubs, so like societies, freshers events, uni events, because I do a lot of like fairs in unis when it starts, like freshers fairs. I didn't actually go to any freshers fairs, but I definitely recommend. They look quite fun, to be honest, and again, a great way to make friends. As long as you're getting involved in so many activities, you're bound to make friends. If you stay in your room, you're not going to make friends. Literally knock on your flatmate's door and just be like, hey, like, do you want to go to this freshers fair with me? Like, it's awkward, I get it, but some people are waiting for you to take the first step. So just go out there. Don't let fear hold you back, honestly. You need to remember, drunk friends are not your friends. Like, honestly, as nice as girls are in the toilet, getting lit, like, I love girls in the toilet. It's just the best place to be, honestly. But majority of the time, they are not going to remember your name the next day. Everyone's drunk, like, everyone's extra happy. Everyone's confidence levels are whoop, like, do you know what I mean? If you got their Snapchat or their Instagram or whatever it is, by all means, reach out to them the next day. Like, if you feel like there was a connection, do that. But just from my own experience, let's be honest, nobody really wants to be reminded of the night before, of how they were acting when they were drunk. It's just awkward when you're sober, because it's like, what was your name again? So just be mindful of that. But overall, before I move on to the next chunk of the video, I just want to emphasize, it's so important to find peace of mind in your own solitude. You are moving out on your own, so there's going to be plenty of times you're on your own. Whether you have loads of friends in uni or not, you're going to be on your own so much more in this new city than you would have been at home. So you need to learn to keep yourself occupied and entertained. Just do things that you enjoy doing. Journal, start a new TV series, go for a walk, start the gym. I have always loved my own company anyway, but coming to uni, I've never loved my own company more until I got a boyfriend, but that's a different story for a different day. But yeah, no, all jokes aside, like, I feel like I'm thriving so much more now as a young adult just by moving out. If you're still contemplating or you're nervous till now, don't be. Okay, so the last chunk of the video, I want to talk about finances because this is another really important one. Oh my god. Okay, so my first point on the whole finance topic is do not spend all your SFE until you've behaved like a responsible adult. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here right now and say don't spend your SFE. Spend it. But only do that when you've paid everything else off. When you get your SFE, the first thing you need to do, this is literally what I always used to do. The first thing you need to do is pay your rent, pay your bills, buy your food shop, and then the rest is your whatever you wish to do with it. Like, that's your money after that. But just be smart with it. Obviously, if you have a job, you do have that little bit more of financial freedom. You could basically spend all your SFE if you wanted to, because as long as you got a job, you can't go broke. But it's like, if you do want to treat yourself, do it. Like, there's a whole stigma around buying things with SFE. Like, I don't know what the problem is personally. When I first got my student finance in first year, the first thing I bought, like for myself, after I'd done the important stuff, was Yeezys. Your student finance is your money. So just be smart with it. Just make sure you pay your rent, make sure you pay your bills, buy your food shop. Remember, you need to have money for a food shop every single month. Spend it wisely. Following on from that point, my next point is to get a job. This obviously isn't a necessity, but I highly recommend personally. I just feel like it gives you that greater sense of independence and responsibility. Like, it just gives you the full uni experience. When I first started uni, it was always mentioned to me that it's so hard to get a job in uni because obviously you come back home quite often. But trust me, it's not that hard to get a job like people make out. You can apply to anything and everything, especially in Manchester. Manchester is literally student central. Like, you can apply to bars, restaurants, retail, but as long as you're honest with them and you let them know, like, you know, I want to go home for so and so days or weeks, they usually allow it anyway. If you're lucky as well, most jobs, they actually offer transfers anyway. Okay, next point. The same way I said that B&M and IKEA will be your best friends, so will Lidl and Aldi. Make sure you go into those places with a shopping list because they will still thief your money if you're not careful. If you actually have a list of all your necessities, you will actually get a good amount of food. My big food shop is like £35. Massive food shop. Like, I'm talking meats, salmon, prawns, like all my fruit and veg, cereals, tissue. Like, I get so much out of Lidl and Aldi. You just have to know what you're going in to buy and just make sure you're leaving with what you came in to buy, because again, they have a good way of, like, you know, thieving your money. I mean, obviously you can still go to like Tesco's and stuff, but just make sure you're utilising the discounts. Take advantage of the club card and all of that. Like, there's no shame in it, do it. Like, it saves you so much money. In terms of like finance and technology, don't feel like you have to buy the latest high-tech technology. I don't even have a laptop, babe, and I'm going to third year. I can't lie, I'm thinking to buy one now though, because I do YouTube now, so not me putting YouTube over studies. But yeah, no, I literally have gone through uni with my iPad. To be fair, I am speaking more on behalf of my course. I do English and journalism, and I guess it does depend on your course. Like, obviously, if you're doing a course that's very like creative and you need certain software, I get it. You might have to spend that extra cash. But generally speaking, don't feel like it's a necessity to spend racks on a new laptop and a keyboard and this and that. Like, you can literally be fine with an iPad and a notebook. As long as you can take notes on it and you're comfortable typing, honestly, any laptop will do. When the going gets tough in uni, it gets tough. Not to scare you guys, you just stay on top of your work, keep up to date with lectures. Even if you miss a lecture or two, you can always go back. So just don't panic. Take a chill pill, you know? Just keep on top of your work and it'll be fine. There's honestly nothing to worry about. But overall, that's the end of this video. I really hope I've actually like helped somebody, at least one person out there, just to put your mind at ease, because trust me, I know how it feels. I do, but you'll be fine. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. If you do have any questions, then feel free to comment them below or DM me. But I look forward to seeing you guys next one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe as per. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.